Welcome back, guys. We're here at Sharp Auto for another episode of the progress on the Turbo LS F-100. Now, last time we got the drivetrain in, and this time the guys have been jamming on the turbo kit. All right, Leighton's doing some CAD.
Yes, sir. Cardboard auto design.
Cardboard aided design here. We're doing some remote mounted coils over there. So what are you thinking here?
We're going to 45 these things on the firewall. I'm just going to do a template first to see if it fits before I start drilling holes and I run into a problem. I said inch and 7/8.
So you're gonna stack them.
So we're gonna
45
hide
basically
these on the firewall like that. And I don't want any bracketry, so I'm gonna have to put nutserts in the firewall, bracket or spacers and hardware all the way down it. So these are, I'm gonna try to get these as nice and tight as I can.
And then they'll just kind of float.
And it's gonna float right there on the firewall.
The bracket.
Every wires are gonna all come down together over the motor.
We're actually gonna go vertical with them.
Correct.
So that'll be pretty sweet.
These usually sit on this, which get bolted to your valve cover with a short wire.
Yeah, this will help clean stuff up and have a unique look to it.
Little idea what she's gonna look like. Yeah,
Gonna work?
I think it's gonna work.
That'll look sweet.
You make some spacers?
Yeah, I'm gonna go cut a bunch of aluminum ones out real quick.
There it is, the close to finished product here. How's about that? Drilled and tapped, nice and clean. And then we'll do some through holes, some nutserts in the firewall. Maybe clean the corners up, depending, do a little design, and call it a day. So we got Leighton jamming on the coil situation, and James has got some spiciness up front here
Hella spicy, guys.
with the fuel lines. So we got some 1/2-inch stainless steel hard lines for these return lines going from the, basically it feeds in the back of the rails, and then it's going to return out the front of both up to the regulator. That's pretty sick. He's got these things dialed. They're like right on mirror image. It's gonna be awesome. And the engine harness is pretty much done. There's a couple things we gotta pin out still and then do the bulkheads, but that's looking badass. All right, so the guys got a lot done today. They got spark plug wiring and routing started here. We're doing custom spark plug wires, and they're gonna run to those brackets to the coils up on the firewall, of course. We've got our special elbow for the throttle body and the charge piping, and Lee's starting to run that now that he's got the intercooler and radiator final mounted. And he's started on the hot side for the turbo here, basically our up pipe, so to speak. And we've got some heater lines started as well. We're going to be doing some silicone rubber lines, the concerns of heat and that sort of thing. And we're going to do some routing for that stuff. But things are really starting to come together here for the engine bay, and hopefully within the next week or two here, we'll be ready to fire.
sit on top, and then I'm gonna most likely either put a tube over that, weld the nut in there, and then put a tube over it, or put the tube like right here.
I wanted Leighton to show me his cool little stand thing.
I just put my finger away, bro.
You just put your where's the thing? Here we go. All right, Leighton, what do we got going on over here?
Big ass turbo.
Big ass turbo.
Really heavy.
Really heavy.
Had to make a mount, little pedestal right here. So you're looking at some 3/16 4130 plate with some 083 3/4 inch tubing with some of that 3/16 plate up top, holding that really big turbo right there.
Fancy.
All
Clears
bolted through
everything.
into the coilover holding housing.
Yeah.
And if you fast forward over here, the ADD kicked in while I was building this, so I stopped. It came over here. Squirrel. We got some charge piping in there.
Look at that. We are actually, that's almost a full turbo kit there. We got hot side, cold side charge pipes, blow off valve, great placement, basically ready to go.
Talk a little more exciting, Tim.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, that's James.
Over here in the cab,
Oh, you don't want to see your wiring.
Mr. Comedian, James is finishing up some of the wiring I got started because I had to go do some other stuff. Where are we at, James? Looks like we got power distribution pretty most of the way wrapped up over here. And what are we working on? Some
Ins and outs of the Holly display. So we can get the dash mounted in here. Which looks badass, by the way.
oh yeah,
Carbon fiber bezel.
James did some crazy work. I think we'll show it. We'll do a little sneak peek. It's over there, but we'll show it in its full glory once we're ready to install everything and be able to really get the full picture. But basically, we're gonna do some. Leighton's working on finishing up the upper radiator hard pipe here that Lee got started.
I'm gonna get it going so we can keep welding.
Yeah, he's gonna get basically you chopping and tacking, and he's gonna burn it in. And we'll do a little lower action. We're gonna do some heat management, of course, because even though this is a truck with a decent sized engine bay, it has its own kind of challenges for the routing of things. So, but we just got a tiny bit more wiring, like 5 or 6 wires for some control stuff. We got spark plug wires and mount those awesome coil brackets Leighton whipped up onto the firewall. A little bit of heater plumbing, and there's not much left for the engine bay on this thing. All right, that's pretty much going to conclude this stage of the build right here. So we've got drivetrain in. Turbo kit is just about done in terms of all the hard parts and piping. Just a little bit of lines left. Fuel system is pretty much done. Engine harness is almost done. Coolers are mounted and I think almost fully plumbed. And the wiring is approaching final stages on the inside. And next step, basically, once we get last few things on the engine wrapped up, is we get to fire this thing.